Hello everybody, I'm Geeta Priya, Assistant Professor from Department of CSE, RMT Engineering College. In this video, I'm going to deal with the concept of extendable hashing, and also we are going to construct an extendable hash structure for the search keys given in the question. To start with extendable hashing, we need to recall some concepts of static hashing. The major issue of static hashing is bucket overflow. Though we had techniques such as linear probing and overflow chaining, those overflow chain in turn will increase the cost of searching. So all these issues of static hashing can be overcome with the help of extendable hashing. With extendable hashing, buckets can be added or removed dynamically on demand depending on the number of records. So that is why extendable hashing is said to be the best technique to accommodate the growth or shrink in the size of the database without degrading the performance. Also, in extendable hashing, as the name indicates, the hash function can be extended to accommodate additional buckets. This is made possible because the hash function here can generate a binary string of over 32 bits long. Let us see this example for better understanding. Here, the given hash function is h of x is equivalent to x mod 8, where x stands for the search key on which the hash function is going to be applied. And let us take the two search key values 3 and 5. And these search key values are, for this search key values 3 and 5, the hash function is applied, and it will give the result of the hash function is fetched as 3 and 5. Okay. Now, in extendable hashing, we have to write the binary representation of the result of the hash function. So here the hash function is producing 3 as a result for the search key value 3, 5 as a result for the search key value 5. Okay. This binary representation should be of how many bits? That could be identified by going through the result of the hash function. Okay, so see which is the maximum number in the result of the hash function. So 5 is the big number, right? So to represent a 5 in binary, minimum of how many bits is required, that we have to see. Okay, so to represent a 5 in binary, we need minimum 3 bits. Okay, so 5's binary representation is 101. We need a minimum of 3 bits to represent the 5. Okay, so for this given set of search keys, the equivalent hash values in binary should be written as a 3-bit representation. Just to go through the result of the hash function, identify the maximum, and to represent that number, minimum of how many binary bits are required. Okay, so that is what determines the number of bits in the binary representation of the hash value. So like this, we have to generate for the given search keys, apply the hash function, the result of the hash function have to be converted to binary, like this. Okay. And here, one more point to note down is, for hashing, for determining the bucket in which the record has to be stored, higher order I bits are used. Okay, so higher order I bits in the sense, say if I take the binary string 0, 1, 1, so this is indicating the most significant bit, and this indicates the least significant bit. Okay, so the most significant bit is called as a higher order bits. Okay, so that is what is indicated as higher order bit. In many of the internet sources, this problem extendable hashing have been solved based on the lower order bits, but as per the prescribed textbooks, they have used higher order I bits. This is what we are going to follow for solving the problem with extendable hashing now. Okay, we are going to take the most significant I bits, the higher order bits of the hash value, to determine the bucket in which the record has to be placed. Okay, and this diagram explains the general extendable hash structure. It comprises of a directory. Okay, and also we have a set of buckets here. Buckets are the memory blocks stored on the hard drive in which the records are stored. Okay, and here it is said that the bucket directory will contain 2 power d bucket addresses. Okay, we'll come to the point 2 power d. What is d? We'll discuss it shortly. Okay, so it will contain, a directory will contain bucket addresses. So how many bucket addresses will be there is 2 power d. Okay, and here you can see that each bucket address may point to the buckets. Okay, so it will determine a bucket in which the record has to be stored. So there is a mapping between the directory entry and the buckets. Okay, and if you see here, you can find the two terms called global depth and local depth. Global depth D is associated with the directory, whereas local depth D dash is associated with the buckets. Okay. So now we'll understand what is this global depth and the local depth. So global depth here, as per the diagram, we have represented as D, and local depth is D dash, so just a notation. And global depth is an integer that represents the number of higher order bits of the hash value required to determine the bucket in which the record is stored. Okay, so it is going to be the number of higher order bits of the hash value that is required to determine the bucket in which the record has to be stored. Okay. Generally, we'll usually start with building that extendable hash structure with higher order 1 bit. Higher order 1 bit. That means when that is d is equivalent to 1. Say if the value of hash is 011, I'll initially start with the higher order 1 bit. So in the initial hash structure, we'll have d is equivalent to 1. Okay, and this directory will have how many bucket addresses is 2 power d. Okay, that is 2 power 1, which is equivalent to, it will have 2 bucket addresses. Okay, so like this we have to understand the concept of global depth. Okay, so it is just indicating the number of higher order bits of the hash value that is required to determine the bucket. Okay, while solving the problem, we'll start with d is equivalent to 1. That is, we'll start with higher order 1 bit. Then using that, if the bucket is overflowing, then we'll go for the next higher order bit. We'll go for d is equivalent to 2, and we'll build the hash structure in that way. Okay, and local depth is an integer that indicates the number of bits based on which the bucket contents are placed. Okay, it is the number of bits based on which the bucket contents are placed. Clear? And the action to be performed in case of any bucket overflow in a bucket is decided in accordance with the values of d and d dash. If that particular bucket is overflowing, based on the values of d and d dash, the necessary actions of bucket splitting will take place. Okay, so you will understand this local depth and global depth clearly when we solve the problem. Okay, so now this is just the definition, go with it. Now we'll see the most important thing, that is the conditions for bucket splitting and mapping of directory entries to the bucket. Okay, so it is an important part, so you can kindly pause and note it down. Bucket splitting, when buckets will be splitted. When a bucket is overflowing, then a new bucket have to be created. That is, a new bucket have to be added. Okay, so to avoid that overflow. Okay, and that new bucket will also be linked with the one of the entry of the directory. Okay, so this is what bucket splitting. We have to split the bucket when the bucket overflows. And there are two cases. Bucket overflows when local depth and global depth are same. And the second case is bucket overflows when global depth is greater than the local depth. Clearly note, D is indicating the global depth and D dash is indicating the local depth. Okay, so in this case where bucket overflows when D and D dash are same, when global depth and local depth are same, you have to increment the global depth as well as you have to increment the local depth of the overflow bucket, and the newly added bucket must be incremented by 1. Okay, so that is what you have to understand here. If the value of global depth is incremented, say we have taken that initially d is equivalent to 1, right? Okay, with the d is equivalent to 1, we'll have 2 bucket addresses. Okay, so in case of overflow, and if the first case is in the first case overflow occurs, like when d and d dash are same, bucket overflows, in this case we need to increment the value of d. that is D value will become 2. Okay, so here, what is the change in the directory entries you see? It will have 2 power 2, that is 4 bucket addresses. That is a directory entry will be doubled. Okay, so when D is equivalent to is incremented, the directory entries will be doubled. Same way when it becomes a D is equivalent to 3, then it will become, it will have, the directory will have 8 bucket addresses. Okay, so likewise, whenever the global depth is incremented, the directory entries is also doubled. Clear? And the another case of overflow is when D is greater than D dash, that is global depth is greater than D local depth. In this case, we can increment the local depth of the overflow bucket and the newly created bucket. Okay, so no need to increment the directory entry. That is a directory entries will not be doubled by incrementing the D. Okay, enough if you increment the local depth. Okay, so we'll solve a problem where we'll put both the cases. Okay, so we'll solve such a problem and you will understand all these conditions, how we have to apply and when we have to apply, it will be clear then. Okay, and these are the conditions for directory mapping of directory entries to the buckets. That is, if the local depth and global depth are same, that's equal, only one entry of the directory will point to a bucket. Okay, and when D is greater than D dash, more than one entry of the directory will point to the bucket. Okay, so you have to understand all these conditions for working on with the problem. Okay, and also always D should be greater than or equal to D dash, which means the global depth should always be greater than or equal to the local depth. Okay, so with all these conditions, now we'll solve a problem. Okay, so here the example is given. Okay, the search key values that is given in the question are these. Okay, so we are asked to construct the extendable hashing structure, and the hash function is given as h of x is equivalent to x mod a, and the bucket is said to contain 3 records in it. Okay, so here the search key values 357, for all the search key values given, we have to apply the hash function, and here you know how to perform the mod operation, and we have got these results, right? So we have to represent the result of this hash function in binary form. So first we have to identify what is the, how many bits are required, how many bit of representation is should be there in that binary form. We have to decide. So see what is the maximum result of the hash function. It is 7. To represent a 7 in binary, how many bits are minimum required? Is 3. Okay. So all these values are represented as a 3-bit binary representation. Okay, so for 3, the 3-bit binary is 011. For 5, the 3-bit binary value is 101. And for 7, the 3-bit binary value is 111. Okay, so like that, we have to convert the result of the hash function into the binary form. Okay, so now what we have to do is, once we have represented all the search key values to binary representation, we'll use this result of the, that is a binary value, hash value in binary form. Okay, so this will be used for further hashing. We'll insert every search key. Okay, so and we'll step by step we'll do, and we'll create the extendable hash structure. So understand what is the search key. The search key is nothing but an attribute of the table which is going to be stored. Okay, let us assume this 3, 5, 7, 11 and all. Let it be the ID of the instructor. Okay, so based on which we are going to distribute the records into the buckets. Okay, so one attribute of the table, that is what we call it as a search key. Okay, so now we'll move on to the problem and solve the problem here on the board. So here we have written the search key values and its binary representation. 3-bit binary representation is written. Okay, so for 3, it is represented as 011 is a binary form. Okay, so I have told that initially when constructing the extendable hashing structure, we'll start with the global depth D is equivalent to 1. What is indicated by the global depth? It indicates the number of higher order bits of the hash value that is required to determine the bucket in which the record is stored. Okay, so initially we'll start with the most significant one bit alone. Okay, so most significant one bit of the hash value is used. Okay, so initially D is equivalent to 1. So what should be the directory structure? It will have the global depth as 1, and that is means this directory will have 2 power 1 bucket addresses, which is 2 bucket addresses it will have. Okay, so that 1 bit means it can either be a 0 bit or it can be the 1 bit. You write its possibilities. Okay, and also this 3 is, it's having a hash value starting with the 0. Okay, so now I'll create a bucket. Okay, and the local depth have to be placed in this bucket. Okay, so before that, let here you can understand that here there are 2 bucket addresses, right? One bucket address can point to the bucket whose, which stores the records whose hash values starting within a 0. Okay, similarly this bucket address location, okay, so can point to the bucket, another bucket can be added further. Okay, so that bucket will store the records whose search key values are starting with the 1. Now, first of all, we are inserting 3, right? The hash value of 3 is starting with a 0. So, I have created a bucket here. Okay, and we'll designate the bucket now. So, this is the bucket for records whose hash value starts with 0. Okay, so local depth, what should be the local depth here? Local depth is nothing but the number of bits based on which the record is placed into the bucket, or the number of bits based on which the bucket contents are placed. Okay, so here based on how many bits we are placing 3 into it, based on 1 bit. Okay, that is starting with a 0 based on that concept, starting with a 0. Okay, based on that concept we are putting 3 into this bucket. Okay, so here this is a bucket for records whose hash value is starting with a 0. So this bucket can hold 3 records in it. The first record hash value is starting with a 0, so 3 goes here, and the local depth is 1. Since we have placed the record 3 into the bucket based on 1 bit, higher order 1 bit. Okay, so now this bucket address is made to point to this bucket. Okay, so this entry, this directory entry, which will contain the address of the bucket, this will point to the bucket which will contain the records whose hash value is starting with a 0. Okay, so this is how the first insertion is made. Okay, so we have started with d is equal to 1. First of all, we have formed the directory entries. Then you will examine the hash value of 3. Okay, so here as per the directory structure, you can understand that it can point to 2 buckets. Okay, so it can this first entry of this directory can point to a bucket which will contain records starting with the hash value 0, and also when need comes I can create another bucket here. Okay, so that will contain the set of records whose hash value is starting with the 1, and also we can make this link here. Okay, so at most this d is equivalent to 1, when d is equivalent to 1 it can point to only at most 2 buckets. Okay, so 3 is starting with a 0, so I have placed it into the bucket whose hash value is starting with a 0. Okay, so by this, the first insertion, like this, now we'll insert a 5 into the hash structure. So far from the previous step, we have inserted a 3, and this structure have to be redrawn. Okay, that is what is done here. Now we are going to insert the second record. Okay, 3 has been inserted, and the second record is going to be inserted with the hash search key value 5. Okay, so you see 5 has the hash value 101. Okay, so here the hash value is starting with the 1, and this directory with the bucket addresses have one more can point to one more bucket. Okay, so this bucket address from this directory have not been used. Okay, so let us create a bucket here. Okay, and designate it as the bucket for records whose hash value starts with 1. Okay, since for 5 the hash value is starting with a 1. Okay, so 5 goes here. Okay, and the local depth should be 1, because on what basis 5 is placed into this bucket. Okay, so it indicates local depth indicates number of bits based on which the bucket contents are fixed. Okay, so content is 5. On how many bits, based on how many bits the bucket content is placed, starting with a 1. That is 1 bit. Here, but this is bucket for the record starting with a 0. Here also, we will consider only 1 bit of the hash value record search key into this bucket. Okay, so that is how why this 5 goes to this bucket, which containing hash value starting with a 1, and this bucket address is mapped to this bucket. Okay, so this is how after 5 is inserted, this is the structure. Okay, so now we'll insert 7 into this hash structure. So far we have inserted 3 and 5. Okay, so for 7 the hash value is 111. Okay, here you can find two buckets. One bucket will contain records whose hash value is starting with a 0, and another bucket will store the records whose hash value is starting with a 1. And these two buckets are mapped with one entry of the directory which contains bucket addresses. Okay, so this 0, the index position 0 of this directory, okay, so will be mapped to the bucket which contains records, okay, whose hash value is starting with a 0. Okay, similarly, this directory entry is made to point to the bucket of records whose hash value is starting with a 1. Okay, now 7, the starting value, hash value is of 7 is 1. Okay, so here in this bucket for 0, starting with a 0, we have two more records to be added. Size is 3 that is given. So here also I can add two more records, and here also I can add two more records. So I have a place for storing the 7, right? Since 7 is starting with a 1, and here there is a space in the bucket for records whose hash value is starting with a 1. 7 goes here. Okay, so we have inserted 7 also. Next we'll insert 11. Okay, so we have inserted 3, 5, 7 done. For 11, the hash value is 0, 1, 1. Okay, that is starting with a 0. So here I have the space in the bucket for the records whose hash value is starting with a 0. Okay, if no space only, the bucket will overflow and you have to bother about those conditions. Here still in the bucket for records with hash value 0, starting with the 0, I have two more records to be inserted here. Space is there, so 11 goes here. Okay, so after insertion of 11, this is the structure. Next, we have to insert a 17. So for 17, so far we have inserted 3, 5, 7 and 11, you can see here. Okay, and after that, 17, while inserting 17, you see what is its hash value? 0, 0, 1. Hash value is starting with a 0. Check whether there is a space in the bucket for records which can store the hash value starting with 0. Yes, right? One more record can be stored here. So 17 goes here without any problem. Fine. Next, we are going to insert a 19. When inserting 19, so far we have inserted 3, 5, 7, 11, 17 is done. Okay, so still 19 have to be inserted. For 19, the hash value is 0, 1, 1. Okay, so check in the bucket for records whose hash value is starting with a 0. Check whether there is a space. Bucket size is 3. That is, it can store only 3 records. Already 3 records are there. Now, when 19 is tried to be inserted here, it will lead to overflow. Okay, so when overflow occurs, okay, you have to check which of the case 1 or case 2 is satisfied here. Okay, so overflow occurs and D is equivalent to D dash. Yes or no? The global depth and the local depth are same. Okay, so which means there is no directory, there is no bucket address in the directory that could be extended because only two bucket addresses are there that were pointing to two buckets. Clear? So now when overflow is there, this bucket have to be splitted and one more bucket will be newly added. Okay, so directory entry is not sufficient. So that is why here the case is that overflow occurs, overflow occurs, and also d is equivalent to d dash, isn't it? So what we have to do? Increment the global depth, also increment the local depth. Okay? So that is what we have to do. Okay, so if you increment the global depth, d will become 2. Entry, number of direct entries, how many it will be? It will have 2 power 2 directory entries. Directory will have 2 power 2 directory entries, that is 4. Okay, so that is the possible combinations, 2-bit combinations can be written as 00, 01, 10, and 11. This entry can point to the bucket starting with 0, with hash value 0, and this particular address, bucket address can point to the bucket whose hash value is starting with 0, 1, and so on. Okay, so D is being incremented. Also, we have to increment the local depth of the overflow bucket. Okay, so here that this bucket is splitted. Actually, this is the 4 elements, right? Actually, 19 is supposed to be put in the bucket starting with the 0, but with checking the first bit of the hash value alone, that is starting with the 0, if I check with this condition, I can just place only 3 records in it. When 19 comes, then I could no more hold this condition. That is, with starting with 0 alone, I could not place all the records. So you have to add one more bit. Okay, so with the 0 to determine the bucket. Okay, so that can be either 0, 0 and 0, 1. Okay, so this is splitted in this way. Okay, so one more additional bucket is added. We use an additional bit of the hash value. Okay, this will be the global depth will be incremented, and for the newly created bucket also, the global depth have to be. It is because it is no more could be identified with a single bit alone, right? We have to, since overflow occurred, we'll go for the next higher bit of the hash value have to be considered for placing the records into the buckets. Okay. And here in this bucket, 5 and 7, bucket for records whose hash value starting with a 1, there is no overflow. So leave it as it is. Don't disturb its contents. Okay. Now this 5 comma 7 is placed here. Okay, now let us designate first what are these buckets is going to store. Okay, so this is the bucket. I told you with the 0 alone we could not be able to put all the records within it. Okay, so with the 0 I could place only 3 records. When 19 comes, I should go for the next bit. 0 added up with another bit. Okay, that is 0, 0 for one bucket, and 0, 1 hash values records will be stored in another bucket. Okay, so this is a bucket that will store the records whose hash value is starting with 0, 0, and this is the bucket which will store the records whose hash value starting with the 0, 1. And the another one bucket is no overflow occurred, so I'll leave it as it is. Just ignore it. Fine. Now we have designated the buckets, right? Now we have to put the hash values. There are 4. We have not disturbed this bucket which contains 5 and 7, but this overflow bucket, the contents of the overflow bucket have to be distributed among that and newly created buckets, right? So what you have to do, check this is a bucket for records whose hash value is starting with a 00 and 0. Okay, so you check for 3, it is starting with the hash value 2 bits you have to check now, because local depth I've increased. Okay, with 0 alone I could not place all the records, right? So I will check whether the hash value of the record is starting with 00, then it will go to this bucket. If the hash value of the record starting with 01, then that record will be placed into this bucket. Okay, so now check for the 3, it is 01, right? It will go to this bucket. Then 11 is in the content of the overflow bucket. For 11, it is starting with the 01 again. While checking the first two bits, okay, 11 goes here. And 17, the first two bits of the hash value is 00, that is starting with 00. So 17 will go here. And the next one is 19, right? 19 is also supposed to be inserted here. Due to this only overflow I have heard. So to accommodate this 19 is starting, the first two bits of the hash value of 19 is 01. So 19 will go here. Okay, so this is how the overflow is solved. Okay, so the local depth is increased, which means we'll use the higher order 2 bits of the hash value. Okay, so based on how many bits the record contents are stored now, 17, 3, 11, 19, how it went into the bucket based on checking higher order 2 bits. Okay, so that is why this contents, the local depth here is 2. Okay, now we'll go for mapping of the directory. Okay, so this is a bucket address that will point to the bucket starting with 00, and this index of the bucket address table with 01 will point to the bucket whose hash value is with 01. And here you recall the condition: if global depth and local depth are equal, only one entry of the directory will point to the bucket. Whereas if D is greater than D dash, check this third bucket. Okay, so the D value is 2, D dash value is 1. In this case, more than one directory entry will point to this bucket. Okay, that is, here you can see for both this directory ID, starting is 1, right? So both these bucket addresses will point to this bucket. Okay, so this is how we have to overcome the overflow. Okay, bucket splitting and the mapping conditions are applied here, and we have resolved the overflow and accommodated 19 in suitable bucket. Okay, next, with the we have inserted till 19. Now we'll insert 23. So in this hash structure where we have inserted 19 already, now we have to insert 23. See, for 23, the hash value is starting with, it is 111, right? So check all the buckets, check all the designations. This is a bucket for hash value starting at 00, and this is a bucket for hash value starting with 01. And it won't 23 won't go in both these buckets because its hash value is starting with a 1 only. Okay, so here check in this bucket, there is a bucket for hash value for the records whose hash value is starting with 1. Okay, so that means here there is a place also. 3 records can be put into a bucket. So 23 goes here, no problem. Okay, so far it is all fine. Now, next, after inserting 23, we have 29 to be inserted. So far we have done all these things, only 2 more elements left, search keys to be inserted. Okay, so for 29, actually the value is 101. Okay, so its hash value is starting with 1. See all these buckets, there are 3 buckets created so far. Okay, so in these 3 buckets, where it should go, actually, you think where it should go? Here it won't go into this bucket because its hash value is starting with 00, and here it won't go because the records in this bucket are starting with the hash value 01. So 29 hash value is starting with a 1, so actually 29 is supposed to be put in this bucket. Okay, but there is no place, unfortunately. So here overflow occurs. Okay, and also what is the condition met? D value is equivalent to 2 and D dash value is equivalent to 1. So what does it mean? D is greater than D dash. Okay, so this is case 2 of bucket splitting. When D is equal to D dash only, we'll go for doubling the entries. We'll increase the global depth. The directory entries will be doubled and so on. Now here, case number 2, D greater than D dash. Okay, so that means the local depth of the overflow bucket have to be increased. Clear? So now we'll construct this structure. No need to disturb this directory entries because the condition is D is greater than D dash only. So we'll construct the directory. Nothing is disturbed except we have to increase the local depth of the overflow bucket. Write everything as it is. Okay. And in the first two buckets, no overflow have occurred. So don't disturb its contents or its local depth. So carry it over as it is. So it is 2 and 17 in this bucket. It is 2 and 3, 11 and 19 in this bucket. And here actually overflow occurred, right? So this bucket will be splitted and the value of local depth will be incremented. Why the value of local depth have to be incremented? Just think, by considering the hash value starting with 1 alone. Okay, so I can put only 3 records into the bucket. So when the fourth record comes, overflow occurred. So with starting bit of the hash value, considering it as a 1 alone, 3 records can be very well stored. But when more and more records are getting inserted, when overflow occur, okay, so I could not determine the bucket with starting 1 bit alone, higher order 1 bit alone. So with 1, you have to add one more bit for determination. That is, it can be 10 or it can be 11. Okay, so that is what we are going to do now. So the local depth is increased. Okay, and now we'll designate the buckets. So already I have told you that in the first two buckets, no overflow have occurred. So let it be as it is. The first bucket will contain the records with starting with hash value 00. Second bucket will store the records starting with hash value 01. And third bucket will store the records whose hash value is starting with 10. And the fourth bucket will contain the records whose hash value is starting with the 11. Okay, so now here overflow have occurred, right? Now overflow have occurred here. That is 5, 7, 23 and 29. This is a bucket where overflow have occurred. So this contents have to be distributed among the two buckets. So this will store the records whose hash value is starting with 10, right? Now check with 5. For 5, the hash value is, check the 2 bits of, since overflow have occurred, I have increased the local depth. That is, now I have to place the records into the bucket based on 2 bits. Okay, so that is why it is 2. Local depth is 2 here. So starting with 10, 5 is starting with 10. So 5. Next one in the overflow bucket is 7. For 7, the hash value, first 2 bits of the hash value is 1 1. So this is the bucket for records whose hash value is starting with 1 1. So 7 goes here. Then next is 23. For 23, the hash value is 111, right? So 2 bits of bucket for record whose hash value is starting with 1 1. So 23 have to go here. And the last element is 29, right? So 29, you see the hash value is starting 10. 2 bits, first 2 bits of the hash value is 10. So this is a bucket for records whose hash value is starting with 10. So 29 will go here. Now we have placed all the contents we have designated. Now we have to map the directory entry to the buckets. Okay, so what you have to do here is this is a index 00. So this bucket address will point to the bucket which is containing the records with hash value starting with 00. So this is mapped here. In all the cases you see D is equivalent to D dash, isn't it? In all the cases. So it will have only the directory entry, only one directory entry will be pointing to the record. Okay. Fine. This is how we have resolved the case 2 kind of overflow. Okay, so we have not doubled the directory entries. We have just created another bucket and increased the local depth. And we had another entry in the bucket address table is made point to this newly created bucket. Is clear? And we have inserted up to 29. The last one to be inserted is 31. So we'll proceed with that insertion of 31. So 31, the hash value is starting with, that is the hash value, corresponding hash value is 111. Okay, and we have these four buckets. First bucket is holding the records whose hash value is starting with 00. Next bucket starting with 01. Next bucket records with hash value starting with 10. The last bucket, okay, records whose hash value is starting with 11. Here for 31, the first two bits of the hash value is 11. So actually, where should 31 go? Check in this bucket whether space is there. Yes, it can hold three records, right? I have a place to insert 31. So 31 goes here. Okay, so like this, we have to convert the search key values, apply the hash function, then the result of the hash function is represented as a binary bits. Based on that binary bits only, we are going to allocate that into the buckets. And when overflow occurs in any particular bucket, depending on the values of global depth and local depth, suitable actions is being taken. Okay, whether local depth have to be incremented or global depth have to be incremented, that desired action can be taken only based on the values of the global depth and the local depth. Okay, so if suppose here in the question they have given the hash function as h of x is equivalent to x mod 8, right? So instead they didn't give any hash function in the question. Okay, and simply they have given some search keys alone, means you could not apply the hash function, right? So for whatever may be the question, the search key values given in the question, for that you write the direct binary form. Provided, I'm telling you, provided the hash function is not given, means you have to write the binary value for the search keys and then you have to proceed with solving. Okay, so hope you understood the concept. Thanks for